We're here at the Liberal Convention in Montreal, where spirits are high. Mark Carney is enjoying record-high polling numbers and a stream of floor crossers that have brought the party to the verge of a majority. But what happened to Carney's pledges of progressive nation building and protection against Donald Trump? As Carney borrows heavily from Pierre Poilievre's playbook and capitulates to the U.S. president at every turn, how are liberals squaring the contrast between the promise and the reality?
Mark Carney. Mark Carney is the man.
I think it's incredible that Mark Carney is doing such an amazing job inspiring people.
It's really mesmerized me, and I think a lot of the youth can agree that.
Mesmerized. That's a strong word. What drew you to the Liberal Party in particular?
The importance of respect, inclusion, giving everyone an opportunity, progress as a society.
Are you concerned about the way in which he's, building a kind of very big tent coalition that includes, right-wing conservative MPs that many liberals probably wouldn't see reflected in their values?
Not at all. I am not concerned at all.
Even if those MPs are anti-abortion, anti-vax, pro-Trump?
Is it possible? I mean, I'm playing the devil's advocate. Is it possible that those MPs never really felt that way? Like maybe they're...
Well, Marilyn Gladu was praising Trump as recently as last month.
I don't know.
I'm a chair of the University Rosedale Riding Association.
Very nice. That was Christea Freelands.
It was, yes.
And will be next?
Danielle Martin, I hope.
How is Carney snagging these progressive lefties?
I think they believe in action. I think they believe in this vision that he has for the country about building things and moving things forward, and also about protecting Canadian sovereignty, coming out of public health, and as a longtime advocate for our public healthcare system. I think she sees public health as a very central part of this sovereignty question.
And on healthcare, it seems like Carney is turning a blind eye while Alberta violates the Canada Health Act.
I will respectfully say that is out of my scope of knowledge.
Okay. How do you feel about that? I mean, she's trying to push through, two-tiered privatized healthcare, and Carney doesn't seem to have said anything so far.
I mean, I think that these conversations are always really delicate.
In terms of federal transfers to healthcare, my understanding is that Carney said he'll maintain the funding, but that amounts to a de facto cut to funding for healthcare.
I have no comment on that.
You became a household name when you beat Poilievre. Can you recap why in your riding that happened?
I think that Carleton was misrepresented for many years, and people were looking for an alternative.
One of the things I understand that a lot of people in your riding were concerned about were the public service cuts that Mr. Poilievre was proposing.
Yes.
Mr. Carney is cutting 40,000 public service jobs.
Yes.
As many as Poilievre himself was proposing.
What I'm extremely proud of, first of all, is that we're doing this respectfully. There are options for public servants, where they may be now.
To go into the defense industry?
They can go to other parts of the public service or into defense industry. I'm also very proud of the fact that we've not only maintained important social programs that benefit Canadian families, but we've even expanded some. We talk about the school nutrition program, the child care program.
Do you think with the kinds of military spending that Carney is proposing, $500 billion in the next 10 years, there won't be drastic trade-offs in terms of public service spending and social spending?
The world that we're living in is unfortunately not the same world we have been living in for the past decades. We have to make sure that Canadians are protected, that our sovereignty is protected, and
in the United States.
We don't know where threats are going to come from, but let's face it, the President of the United States has wanted to annex Canada.
Will spending on weapons actually defend Canada's sovereignty, or just end up enriching American companies to appease Trump?
we're going to be buying Canadian as much as possible. So
70% of Canadian military spending currently goes to U.S. weapons makers.
yeah, well, I mean, those are based on historical numbers, but we're building.
But what we're seeing is even the Buy Canada provisions seem to include U.S. branch plants in Canada, like General Dynamics and other companies.
Yeah, who are employing people in Canada. So, it's we don't live in a perfect world.
How's that defending Canada? Enriching U.S. weapons companies.
Well, we're defending Canadian jobs. We're making sure that our military has the equipment and the tools that they need to support Canada.
Won't that just be to fight alongside the U.S. and U.S. wars abroad?
Well, there's a U.S. war abroad right now. We're not fighting alongside of them.
Though though Carney has suggested he might join.
No, he won't join.
So let me ask you about the defense industrial
Yeah,
strategy.
sorry.
No, I get you have lots of
You're
fans.
popular.
The strategy doesn't actually refer to prime companies, U.S. manufacturers who currently get 70% of Canadian military spending. What guarantees are there that money from the defense industrial strategy won't simply go to U.S. companies?
The strategy is very clear that we want to use that as an engine of growth in our country. What we want to do with the strategy is to make sure that Canadian companies, Canadian workers, Canadian industry will benefit.
What guarantee is there that U.S. branch plant companies won't simply qualify as like under the Buy Canadian policy?
Well, the policy, like I said, is about favoring the growth of domestic industrial capabilities. On the other end, one has to acknowledge that there are a number of, for example, weapons system or defense equipment for which we may not have today the industrial base to manufacture in Canada.
What about all the other climate policies that Carney's been practically shredding to appease Danielle Smith in the oil industry?
I do think it is unfortunate. I can be honest here in the fact that we are moving backwards as a party when it comes to the climate front. I joined the party when Justin Trudeau was the Prime Minister, and he did move forward on a lot of these things to make our climate crisis a little bit better, but we are moving backwards in the fact that we are making these oil pipeline deals and taking away carbon tax.
Why do you think that's happening?
I think it's happening because there's been division in the country, and we've kind of moved more to the center as a party.
You're wearing a keffiyeh.
I am.
How does that feel wearing a keffiyeh in the Liberal Party, who has done very little to defend Palestinians against the genocide?
Yeah, I mean, I think the good thing about the Liberal Party is that they're a welcoming party.
They're comfortable with your presence, but not the kind of policies that would actually rein in Israeli impunity.
There's conversations that are happening, and I've had conversations with my MP about it, and I know that there are many MPs within the Liberal caucus that are talking to the decision makers in cabinet and with the Prime Minister about policies that need to be done in order to get better at Palestinian support.
So what do you think it is that's preventing Carney from, taking concrete steps to sanction Israel, to stop arms shipments to the U.S. that end up, in Israeli fighter jets, really doing anything concrete to rein in Israeli impunity?
Yeah, I'm not personally sure because I'm a staffer, but I'm not sure what's holding the Prime Minister back.